This is what we're creating today, and we're using this from the floral line of papers. And I'm first off going to show you how easy it is to foil. I know we did this last week, but this never gets old. So I'm going to move this out of the way and pull, well, I won't put that here yet. I already have a piece of the foil cut. It's a little bit shy. Let me cut a new piece. I've used a lot of this particular color. And that piece is a little shy because I used it also for the sentiment. So I had cut pieces of one of these into smaller pieces when I was doing the sentiment. But these come 6 by 12 and the papers are 6 by 6. So you can easily get 2 from one piece of foil. And I'm going to show you how you can get 4 with the black toner paper too. So you cut your foil and you put the pretty side up. And I just use a piece of copy paper. I cut a piece of copy paper down to size, and I use that as a carrier sheet for the foil. And you just stick it in there, and you have your laminator set on hot. Every laminator is different. Mine is a Royal Sovereign, and you can get laminators for about $20, $30, and they're so worth the investment. It is a great tool to have. So you just run it through here. I always run it through twice because I have better results. Thank you, Rebecca. I'm glad you like the notebook. The colors are beautiful, aren't they, Loretta? Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Dorothy. Does that die fit in a normal big shot, Dorothy? You would have to, here, I'll show you after. I'm going to run this through a second time, and then I will show you how you would put it in a normal size big shot, because that's what I use. You don't need a big one at all, but you just sandwich it. You put your, I already have pieces pre-cut, but you put your mat board down and sandwich it, and it'll run through your regular big shot machine. You just need the extended pads because it's long. If you're only cutting this part, you can use the shorter pads. And then this is for the pages, but it helps to have the extended pads, and it'll run through your big shot machine easily. Okay, this has run through twice, and this is my favorite part, the big reveal. So isn't that stunning? How beautiful that turns out. And look at those colors in that foil. Thermal Web. Be sure and go over and like their Facebook page and thank them for the giveaway. But isn't that beautiful? Now, I don't want to waste any of this foil. So I always take that extra because look at that pattern that's left. It's simply stunning, and you can use this. But I like to run it through with just some copy paper to take out any of those wrinkles that you see and to get this black look. I'm using a piece of toner paper, which is available in my shop also. So you get 2 looks for one with the foil. So with one sheet of foil, you can get 4 different 6x6 foiled pieces. Now when I run it through to flatten it out, that just helps it lay on the toner paper better. Sometimes I run it through twice, but sometimes it only needs to be done once. And same thing. You just put that on there. And you always put the folded side into your laminator. And I want to show you, I have some die cut sentiments, and that's what I used for the front of this. And I foiled it. These can be foiled also. They don't need to be. They look perfectly nice just in the black and white, but for this particular journal, I just thought, because I wasn't adding any more bling or anything, I thought that that was just the perfect touch to foil the sentiment on the front also. So I'm going to run this through a second time. And I'm seeing comments now, so I'm going to check and see if there's anything I can answer. Okay, thank you, Ann. The passport die is still available. Good. It is a great die. I've used it for years, and I love that size. It works really well. Thermal Web does have great foils. I love their foils, and their adhesive sheets work well with Eileen's dies. I think Eileen has her own line of adhesive sheets with Thermal Web. So you might want to check that out too. Okay, so I'm going to move my laminator out of the way a little bit. And by using that piece of foil on your toner sheet, you'll notice, okay, so I have to find a place where I can pull it up. There we go. You'll notice, isn't that stunning? It's so pretty. But look at that. You've used all of that foil, so nothing went to waste. I love that about being able to use the toner paper. And you get 2 completely different looks. So that in itself is so cool. Okay, Ann said, I had no idea you could use a regular laminator with foil. Yes, you can. A regular laminator. And you just have to test your own laminator and make sure what, the heat. Some laminators have heat settings. Mine has a hot and a cold. I put it on hot, I let it heat up, and then it works. But isn't that just stunning? So, to do the passport book, I went ahead and pre-cut. But this comes, here's the cover of the passport book, and here's the binding. So you need to run this through once for a front cover and a binding, and then one more time for a back cover. So you have 2 of these. And I have tried just using adhesive and adding this to my mat board before I die cut it, but my machine, it just stops. It automatically stops. It's too thick. Even with that tiny little bit, I can do it like with a tissue paper or decorative paper, but cardstock, it's just a little too thick, and my machine just dies in the middle. So I've stopped trying that. So I cut a front and back cover and the binding. And then I did the same thing. I took the decorative paper and I didn't cut it all at once because it's just a little bit short. But if I cut a front and back cover, then I could come back with the little piece that's left and cut the binding. When I did this, when I was creating this, the first thing I did was I thought I was going to do it in white, and then I was going to do it in all white. And then I looked at the black and I thought, oh my gosh, that is so perfect with the white for the binding. So today I'm going to do white covers with the black for the binding. But you want to pre-cut all of these pieces. And then you can use, like I have this one ready, and I have both my covers ready. You can use wet glue, but I prefer to use, like you can use the Gina K tape runner, because you're able to pick it up and move it around if you don't get it exactly where you want it. And Thermal Web also makes this great peel and stick double-sided tape. So that works well too, and then you can just press it on. So I have my front and back cover done. I started the side here, and what I wanted to show you was when you fold over, like I pre-folded this, and when you fold it over, I really didn't want this white edge showing on here. So what I did was I used some of my iridescents from Earthsafe Finishes, and this is Lagoon, and I just used my finger, but you can use a Q-tip or a paintbrush, and see how beautiful and luscious that is. It was the perfect color to use to just cover up those edges. I don't mind that these edges are white. I just wanted those not white. So here's my other pieces, and it fits together really good. What I did was I cut the front and the back piece off and just left this center as it was. And I am going to just use some tape. I would take my time more carefully if I wasn't live to make sure I had the entire thing. And then I have it setting down like this so I can get that positioned just right. And see, I got it off just a little bit. Well, with the Gina K tape, you're able to pull that up, which is a nice feature. And that's by Thermal Web too. But it makes it repositionable for just a little bit. I mean, it is a permanent tape, but maybe it's easier if I do it this way. Just because I'm on camera, it's being a little fussy. But it's a repositionable tape, but it is permanent. So you have just that few minutes there to readjust, which is really nice. So I added that. And then I'm going to skip the holes. And I'm going to put some way down here at the bottom because I didn't get all the way to the edge of the piece I'm putting on. And then I just line this up like that. So you can see the holes. Maybe you can't see them on camera, but you can see where the holes are. Where the holes are. So this is hard. You can take, if you want a wider journal, you can take and cut this piece off, okay, so you can cut these two pieces off. I'll fold them over. And then overlap this one. So this has 3 sections, so then you'd have 5. You would glue these two pieces together. You're not going to see it unless I am able to take it off. Okay, so that way you can have it much wider, and that's a really cool book too. It's more of a chunky book. This one fits really good in my tote that I bring back and forth a lot of places, but this is really cool too. So that's another option. If you want it wider, you can do it that way. Okay, so now to put this together, you just glue these, and I'm going to, so this Ultra Bond comes with a nice narrow little tip, but I have always taken my cap off when I work with glues. Unless I'm going for a specific piece, I like to take the cap off, and I use toothpicks or craft sticks to get the glue out. I like to have the glue and see it. So on here, you add a generous amount of glue. You can tape this too. You don't have to do it with glue. I think glue is a bit stronger for you to adhere the mat board to the mat board. And I did cut this out of mat board. Sizzix makes the mat board, and they sell it. You can use a heavy cardstock, but it's not as, I mean, mat board is like just perfect. It's the perfect substrate for these journals. So I usually use some clothespins to hold this together. So, because this doesn't stick right away. You can use hot glue. I haven't used my hot glue gun for quite a while, but I should get that out again sometime. I do like wet glues. I'm hoping you can see this. I got a little tiny bit on the foil there, so I'm just wiping it up. And then if any glue comes out of the edge here, just wipe it away right away so it doesn't get all over your foil. And I always have baby wipes nearby to wipe my hands and to wipe excess glue and excess paint. This is going to take a little bit to dry, but I just wanted you to see what the white cover looked like compared to the black cover, and I like them both. I think they're beautiful. So I'm going to let this sit here and set up, and I will show you how I did the tag. And then if this dries enough, I'll show you how to put the inserts in. Now what's really cool about the die that Eileen made for the passport book, so this is the front and back cover and the binding. Right here, she has pages. So you're able to take several sheets of copy paper. Let me find where I put mine. They're on my desk here someplace. Sorry. Okay, so what I did was I took, I don't know how many is here, about 10, I took copy paper and I folded it in half and I put it on here, and it cut all of these at once. So this would become one signature. I did have like the first two that the blade actually cut through. So I got rid of those and I just kept these. So this is how you make your signatures, and it's so easy to do. You can do it with copy paper, you can do it with decorative paper, you can use dictionary pages, so much depending upon the look of the journal you're going for. But that's how you make your signatures quickly and easily without having to hand cut every single one. So that's probably why I use this die the most. And in here, I actually have 4 signatures, even though there's only 3 holes, because in the center one, I put 2. So I want to show you, I might have to, let me use this while that other piece is setting up. And because I used the black, I'm going to use black thread. You can use elastic. You can use rubber bands. She has these very cool little notches right here. So you can stick rubber bands around here and add your signature so they're easy to come in and out as they fill up if you want it changeable. I didn't want the rubber bands showing, and I just wanted that little tiny, I mean, you can barely see this. I actually use elastic on here, but you can do it with thread because you're actually sewing your signatures into the book. And because I'm doing it this way, I want to start from the inside and come out. And then I'm going to come back in. I started in the middle, and I'm going to take about that much thread because I can always use this. I'm not cutting it off. So I started in the middle, I came out, and I came in on one side. And then, let's see if it's going to work without a needle. I'll do one page. You would actually have several pages. But you just stick it in through all of your pages. So you want several pages together in your signature. So you'll have the thread on the center page, and then you come down to this bottom hole, and you would have your whole signature. Let me pull it tight. It's kind of ingenious the way Eileen thought of this. So you would have your whole signature right there in place. And it stays in place. And then you would come back into the center and come up, and I'll take another page. And you go in the bottom hole. If you're using thread and you're doing lots of papers, you're going to want a needle. I just didn't get that out because I used elastic on the other one, and it was just a little bit stiffer than this thread. So that's how you put your signatures in. Isn't that cool? So then you come out the middle, back in on the other side, put your signature and come out, and then you come in the middle, and then you would tie your threads together. like this. See, I tied my thread. See, this is elastic, so it's a little thicker, and I wasn't sure why I was doing it. I got the elastic out and I wasn't sure if I was going to come around the outside, and I decided to come in right here, and I had the elastic out, so I just used it and it works perfectly. If you fill this book up and want to change your signatures out, you can do that just by clipping the threads and adding new ones. And now to put this together, okay, before I glued this on, I actually did stick my ribbon inside the signature, and then I glued those pieces on. So I'll take this apart. I mean, it's not, it is getting set up, so that's nice. I wouldn't have to do that. I can just use this and come around this way too, but I don't want it showing on that side, so I want it on the inside, so I'll take that apart. And then I just used a piece of tape and I taped this sentiment to it, to the front. It's cardstock, and yes, you'll have to be a little careful with it maybe, but I didn't want to put it above or below, and I wanted this ribbon right in the center there. And then you're able to tie it shut. Now I'll show you how I did the sentiment. It is, I laminated it just the same. See, this ties in a bow. I laminated it, and once I did that, I was able to take some of the toner paper and take the excess foil and laminate it a second time, and that's how I got this. And then I just used an oval die and I die cut that. And that's the one I'll use on the front of here. So even with the sentiments, you can get two if you're foiling them all. They all don't work perfectly like the ones, here's a sample of what's in the package. That isn't to size, but in here there's 61 different die cuts. And the ones that are teeny tiny, like you had me at hello, you might not, the foil might not show up. It'll show up on here, but when you use it on the black toner paper, it's not going to show up as well. So you can use them perfectly like this too. This one I did the Just a Note, which is one like this. So I did Just a Note, and then I took, you can see the toner paper right there, and I did the opposite. So on this one, I don't have a die that is exactly like this, so I would fussy cut it out to use it. But it gives you that second look if you are doing the foils. So there's lots of options here. The foils are simply beautiful. We want to make sure you go over and like Thermal Web's Facebook page. I think Lisa put the link in here for you. And you want to check out Eileen's passport book on her, in her Etsy store. If Eileen's here, she can put the link in for that. And I'm going to just check and see if there's any questions that I can answer real quickly. Otherwise, I will go back through here and answer all of your questions, and when we're done. The back ribbon closure with the foiling is elegant. Yes, this ribbon is actually silk, and I always grab black and white because they're easy to use. White you can color with almost any ink to make the color you want. But the silk, I mean, it lays so beautifully. And I love how it looks. Gina, when you do something with your foils, we want you to share it in our group. Lisa put the link in there for our group so people can sign up and join and share all their wonderful projects. Eileen has lots of videos, yes, she does, on how to do the signatures. So she goes into it in way more detail than I have. But I love how this turned out. I hope you liked the project. And be sure to like, share, and comment with the hashtag BellaCrafts to enter for the giveaway for the foils from ThermoWeb. We will announce the winner next week. The winner from last week, we had 2 winners for a $25 gift certificate to my shop. And Lisa announced one, and Mitsiana Wright is the winner for that I'm announcing. So Mitsiana, get a hold of me and I'll tell you how you can use your $25 gift certificate for my shop. And until next time, I hope you guys have fun and be creative. Bye everyone.